Hey guys, and welcome back for another video. Today I'd like to help you complete the first part of the troublesome Skyscales collection, and that would be Skyscale Lost. In total, there are 21 objectives you'll need to complete, and most of these are jumping puzzles with 2 world bosses thrown in the mix. And more specifically, at least in terms of the world bosses, you'll need to complete the Shadow Behemoth, as well as the Mark II Golem. Since you can do these in any order you like, I do recommend keeping an eye on some event timers so that whenever those world bosses go up, you can quickly defeat them and get these 2 out of the way. About 2 hours after completing Raising Skyscales, you'll be able to return to Sun's Refuge and speak with Goric to go ahead and start this part of the collection, and with that out of the way, you can then complete the world bosses whenever they're up and complete the rest of these jumping puzzles. In this video, I'll be covering the jumping puzzles in Path of Fire as well as the Living World Season 4 maps, and in another video, I'll be covering all of the Quarteria jumping puzzles. For both of these videos, you'll just need to follow along, and I'll only be narrating the waypoints and some basic information you may need to look out for each jumping puzzle. Upon unlocking this collection achievement, you'll also be given a recipe as well as an item that you can make with that recipe called the Extra Pungent Skyscale Food, and if you use this item at any of the jumping puzzles, it'll automatically complete that part of the collection. I'll be covering how to craft additional pieces of Extra Pungent Skyscale Food in a future video, but for now, let's just get into the jumping puzzles themselves. The first collection item can actually be found in the same map as Sun's Refuge or Jahai Bluffs, and you'll be headed to the Yatendi Village waypoint. Next, you'll need to head to the Domain of Korna, and you'll be taking the Allied Encampment waypoint. After that, head to Sandswept Isles, and we'll be taking the Aniagel Landing waypoint. Next, head to the Domain of Abbey and take the Market Ruins waypoint. From here, having access to gliding or a griffin would obviously make this a lot faster, but if you don't, you should be able to follow along with the path that I've taken in order to use the core mounts to get there. Interacting with the signs of activity will spawn a branded leyline anomaly, and it's only after defeating this enemy that you'll be able to complete the next part of the collection, and do make sure you have some friends with you, as I don't recommend soloing this fight. Now head to the Ellen Riverlands, and we'll be taking the Skimmer Ranch waypoint. Still in Ellen Riverlands, you'll want to take the Augury Shadow Waypoint, and we're actually looking for an event to spawn here that we've actually already completed once for this collection. If you thought to yourself, there's absolutely no way that this collection can have me repeat anything I've already done, well, I've got some bad news for you. Just like before, the event will eventually take you to a teleporter that takes you into the Hall of Ascension, where the meta event will start, and rather than actually participating in the meta event, you'll want to use this time to get this jumping puzzle, so just head to the back of the room by taking either of the ramps on the left or right. Last time I covered this event, I failed to mention that it is actually on a timer, so do look out for that when you're completing this part of the collection. Next, we'll be headed to the Crystal Oasis, and we'll be taking the Destiny's Gorge waypoint. From here, you really just need to get your way up over the giant wooden fence blocking off this part of the map, and you can do this a variety of ways, but this is the way that worked best for me. Staying in the Crystal Oasis, we'll be taking the Destiny's Gorge waypoint again. For this part, you will need the Jackal portals unlocked for your Jackal mount, and you'll be using these to get through a bit of a puzzle. Obviously, all of these jumping puzzles have been sped up for time, but for this one in particular, you may want to use the YouTube settings to slow it down so you can see exactly where to go. We still have one more to complete in the Crystal Oasis, and this time we'll be taking the Temple of Cormyr waypoint. On the sand bridge, just be mindful that it is somewhat deceiving and you can fall off pretty easily, so just take your time and make your way across the bridge. Next, we'll be headed to the Desert Highlands and we'll be taking the Macaulay Outpost waypoint. Once again, you'll find yourself on some sand bridges, and you just want to make sure that you're patient so that you don't fall off. And lastly, for this video, we'll be staying in the Desert Highlands, this time taking the High Jump Ranch waypoint. And that, guys, pretty much wraps up all the collection items for the Path of Fire and Living World Season 4 maps. Stay tuned, as soon as I can get to it, I'll be doing Part 2, which does cover the Quarterium maps. Also, don't forget, you do need 2 world bosses that you'll need to complete, and then afterwards, you'll be able to interact with the Skyscale necessary for this collection. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos. I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.